Okay, so this is Fibonacci. Basically, all we got to do is, for C-sharp, that is, we're using basically our control method, and all of this is pretty simple syntax. So basically, if I wanted to nail this down easily as you can understand it, what this does is its function, find a constructor, CTR, is called, and you have next, previous, and then you have all of this. Every single time it writes the next number, it'll write the next number, 1 to 10. The next comes out, this next thing, 1, and then this temporary number represents the current number that was used. The current number that was used is added to the previous number. The previous number is then equal to the next. So we continue. What was the previous number? Well, previous number is 0. That's all she wrote. Well, you can't really use this if it doesn't really increment the way you'd want it to. So the previous number can't be 1. The next number is always 1 because it's starting at 0. We don't say this thing goes to next because syntactically speaking, it doesn't work. Now, sure, I probably ran this before in C# and it auto-incremented that number, given the fact that it's probably some kind of integer glitch, or like it says right here, use compound assignment, and you do that, it looks like this. And compound assignments take the two numbers themselves, which again are 4 bytes each. They pile them up and then they go kapow, and then out comes the previous equals the next. The next equals the previous. See where this is going? Not really. No, because these two aren't the same operations. Since we have the next now equaling 1, the previous is now equaling 0 from the beginning. We pile through this thing, it goes 1, and then it does whatever it wants. Basically, if I wanted to pin this down to something a bit more substantial here. Okay, so this, I changed everything, and I wanted to do that so that I could give my program a little bit more flesh out, and this does wonders for that. X and Y, yes, they're important. They're extremely important. Trust me. Y and X need to be positioned like this so that we can actually build something that matters. The next thing, the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing. Previous would be X here because it's the last point, right? Plotting all the other points that exist, they should exist along with the nuanced portions of this whole ordeal. The next and the next could be X, but that's not how this goes, because you want Y to dip out in front of it at the tops. And then I originally thought, well, if it's going to be the next one, why don't we have it come out and then go over? So then it equals this multiplied. So it's going to scale from the 0th to this upward, downward thing. And then it's like, well, we're not going down, we're going up. So it's from the X point, right? We'll have this Y coordinate operate from the X point. And then as it goes up, it'll go out that way. And then as X stays where it is, it'll go wherever it wants to. Basically, we'll have them traverse from an origin point, which is its own integer origin, and origin is equal to 0. It always will. To change the origin, you have to go back and again change it. Technically, you don't necessarily need to do this, but it's easier to look at visually. So origin is equal to this next integer type, and not the previous being the next. The previous is being the next now because we're able to do this. Now this if statement just says Next is equal to 0. We do this. Next can't be 0, ever. Next starts at 1. So what happened here? Earlier, we had an algorithm that changed. Next is equal to previous. Because previous is now equal to next. Now, things change. So basically, I changed the code for everything here. And I did that because I wanted to see what I could do with the drawing functions, which are pretty great. Basically R, G, B, and so on. But other than that, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, I don't know about this. Then again, I don't want it to be too ugly. So you have this kind of like color change effect that I'm able to do on the fly. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, I really like what I've done so far. It's fun. It's as close as I could get for a spiral. And I've yet to figure out, I guess, I don't know, smoothing, but I'm not going to really do that. I'm going to jump into some other algorithms. There's a lot of cool stuff I guess you could do with this if you wanted to really play around. But for me, personally, I'm good. This is a lot of fun as is. And it's been like, there you go. It's been pretty great. You can really see what I want to do with this better. There we go. But yeah, it's like, that's about it. Thanks for watching.